It's time now for The Clash. And the late Queen reportedly suggested that her beloved son Andrew should devote himself to charitable work as a route back to public life. Now, that's according to an exclusive report in today's independent newspaper. The Duke of York's public image was tarnished by his close friendship with the paedophile billionaire Jeffrey Epstein and the allegations from Virginia Giuffre, which he decided not to fight in court. But his friends claim that his mother believed he should pursue a Profumo-style path to redemption through low-key good deeds. So what do you think? Was the late Queen right that Prince Andrew could be rehabilitated by taking on a life of charity work? Let me know your thoughts by emailing me down at gbnews.uk. You can tweet me at gbnews and I'll bring you those results shortly. But to debate this now, the well-connected journalist and author Petronella Wyatt and Prince Andrew's biggest supporter, Lady Victoria Hervey. And Lady V, obviously you have backed Andrew, and I know you think he doesn't need to clear his name at all, and obviously we had an in-depth interview with you about that last week.
Right.
But do you think the Queen was right? Because to me, actually, the late Queen, this seemed like a really sensible suggestion from her. Andrew, focus on charity. Prove to the public that you've got what it takes to return to public life through your good deeds.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's definitely going to be the way forward. As far as, you know, there's always going to be the negative people that are going to be saying things like, oh, whatever he does is going to be wrong. And, you know, I know it's like a lot of people have been concentrating on the whole photo debate and suddenly they're saying, oh, the photo has to be real. From the very beginning, I want to make it super, super clear, which I think we already have. The photo is a photo of a photo of a photo.
That doesn't mean that...
No, just listen to me 1 second. The last time that photo was copied was in the US. I always had the date of March 13th. That's been public knowledge for a super long time.
Because, Lady V, you insist this photo that we're looking at here, you insist this photo is fake.
But it's now been proven.
The artist, it's not
real.
Proven, Petronella. It's the Mail on Sunday.
Forensic experts.
I have forensics, and I'll give you my results of my forensics.
But you have a vested interest. You're
I don't have a vested interest. I'm not. He's a friend.
You told me, exactly. You told me that you are essentially on his team.
I am not on his team. I can't be on his team yet.
You claim that you know the guy who faked the photo.
I do.
So why did he not come forward before Andrew settled?
No, because I didn't know him then. So he only came forward to me, and we had.
But this whole thing
I had to get police to check this guy out for the last 10 months. He has a criminal record. He was too terrified. He then admitted to me he's an artist, so that's how Ghislaine knew him and Epstein, and they're the ones that got him to change the heads. It was then rephotographed to set Andrew up from the very beginning.
Why would they do that when she's now saying he's innocent and Ghislaine's saying the photo is a fake?
What about it?
Nothing,
She's always
nothing you say is.
But all I'm saying is, so the third time it was photographed, was always in the US. It was always done with a shitty throwaway camera.
So that's the photo. That's the photo.
May I say
and look, I understand there's a debate about this photo.
He's never been found guilty. He's never said he's guilty.
But I'd like to say something about
So Petronella, can you respond to that specifically and then bring in this Profumo link, which obviously the Queen was pushing? Because what Lady Victoria says is actually Andrew has been found guilty of no crime, so should he not have a chance to rehabilitate?
No, we have to be realistic because with Andrew, it's all about Andrew. He is now a huge embarrassment to the royal family. We have a coronation coming up. If he wants to rehabilitate himself, he should just shut up and not overshadow his brothers. Wait a minute. Coronation. It's just typical Andrew selfishness. And I'm afraid that the court of public opinion, whether you like it or not, has... it's now irrelevant whether he was guilty or not, but he's...
OK, so Lady V, can I just ask you a question before you come in?
Of course.
Moving that forward.
Sure.
So, why has he not just gone away quietly
Exactly.
and started doing charity work? Because then he could come out and say, for 3 years,
well,
I've
right
been working
now,
on this charitable
I mean,
project.
this is how I'm interpreting it. But right now, he's really got nothing to lose at this point. And why is he going to let this
But
woman?
why is he humiliating his family and his brother?
He's not. He
He
wants to fight. He wants to fight this girl.
But
This girl
Petronella,
has
by all
ruined
accounts,
his. She has
Prince
ruined
Charles,
his life.
Sorry, King Charles has always privately backed Andrew.
That's not what I'm hearing.
What are you hearing?
Well,
I'm
you know,
hearing that he wishes he would keep a lid on it until after the coronation at
But it's
least.
always going to be something,
And also,
isn't it?
his plans for the slimmed-down monarchy were never going to include Andrew. And also, there's no comparison with Profumo, because Profumo, after he resigned, never returned to public life. Never. He did his charitable work unpublicised and won a lot of admiration for that. He never tried to worm his way back into politics.
We're not in the Middle Ages right now, and I get hundreds of people writing
you are
me
in the
every
Middle
day.
Ages.
Well, we're not,
But
and
you
I
are,
have
because you have
people
this
writing me
feudal
every day,
attitude.
going, you know what?
That a
It's not
royal
fair
could
on
do no
him.
wrong.
It's the media that is telling him to do this stuff, but actually the public, the ones that write to me all the time, are basically saying, you know what? He's never been proven to anything. He's
Well,
not done
that's
anything
not what
wrong.
I'm
So,
hearing.
He needs to
Victoria,
get a chance.
do you feel that the public mood is changing? Because, of course,
I-
Ian Maxwell,
A lot.
Ghislaine Maxwell's brother, released this photograph last week of two people in a bath.
Yeah, but that proved the very opposite of the point I was trying to
actually,
make.
Petronella, 1 second. So that bathtub actually proves a lot, because Virginia wrote.
proves the
She wrote,
opposite.
no, she wrote in her memoir, it's a circular bathtub in the middle of the room. Does that look like a circular bathtub in the middle of the
But
room?
weren't they trying to prove that there wasn't enough space
yes,
in the
not,
bathtub?
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
but she's-
they
but-
proved
And
that you
Petronella, you
could.
say you
But
could.
no,
They proved there would be room
No,
for four.
but the whole thing, what you're all missing is, she said it was a circular bathtub in the middle of the room. Now, the plans of that bathroom and the plumbing and everything, that bathtub has always been like that. It was never a circular bathtub in the middle of the room.
I have been very, very critical of Prince Andrew for the decisions that he's made over the past few years in regards to this, and Lady V and I have had numerous bust-ups about it. However, do you not feel a little bit concerned that this man has been brought down by a woman, Virginia Giuffre, who has now proven to have lied about Alan Dershowitz?
I'm no fan of Virginia Giuffre. No fan. And it may be that Andrew never had sex with her. He's brought himself down. He's brought himself down, the Emily Maitlis interview, by being caught out on various lies, by his arrogance. But, you know, the public don't like him. The public just don't like him.
OK, just say they don't like him. I know he's apparently had quite a few run-ins with journalists and stuff in the past, but that doesn't mean he's guilty. It doesn't mean he has to just, like, not do anything for the rest of his life. You know what I mean? It's not... He can't be sort of living...
But he is guilty.
Clearly he's not going quiet.
Wait,
He's not going quiet.
He is guilty. He's guilty
just because
of being the unrepentant friend of a convicted paedophile. Why did he go back and stay with him in New York after Epstein was released from prison?
And he didn't apologise for that.
Exactly.
So, I mean, from what I heard or whatever, so if we actually backtrack to that first time Jeffrey was arrested, it was not a big story. Like, I don't know if you remember it, but it was not front-page news. It was not a big deal.
But
Said
Andrew
it was a
knew
big
that he was
story.
a child sex trafficker, though, when he went to stay with
Exactly.
He wasn't. Was he a child? When I think of children, I think of children, right? And when I think of trafficking, I think of girls in cages. I don't think of Virginia Giuffre on a yacht in Saint-Tropez drinking champagne.
That is medieval, what you're saying.
No, because I have a friend that actually has a charity that helps girls that were trafficked, that were literally
So are you saying
imprisonated.
none of these girls... are you saying they're all liars, then?
No, not all of them, but I
Every
believe
single
some of
one?
them are. Some, not all.
It was interesting. We had Alan Dershowitz on the show.
I have some big
last week.
whistleblowers that have come out to me as well at the moment.
So, basically, you think the majority of the girls lied?
I believe, not the majority, I believe quite a few have
What
lied.
Alan Dershowitz
Yeah.
was saying in our interview last week is that it is the media's responsibility to take the allegations seriously, but it's also the media's responsibility to look into
We
whether there may have
did.
been a miscarriage.
Can I just say
I
that
know
we did-
about the
do you
bribery
remember-
with the lawyers that
Do you remember
they were
Nick,
made to
the
fabricate
case of
stories.
Nick?
Yes.
who wrongly
Who
accused
was
senior
sucked
politics, and the
who
media
sucked in James
exposed
O'Brien
Nick.
and sucked in Tom Watson.
Yes, exactly.
But the media ended up exposing Nick.
Yes, they did.
But do you not think the same thing could be happening here with Giuffre, given that she has had to apologise to
I honestly
Dershowitz?
don't think...
I mean, there's a lot of exposure coming out about her.
I'm not... I mean, Dershowitz...
So she claimed to have had sex with Dershowitz six times.
I know
six
she
times,
did.
and then she forgot, and she got the wrong person. Have you had sex with someone 6 times and forgotten who they were?
I know, but I think it's different with Andrew, though. Unfortunately,
There's probably some people you've had sex with who you want to forget.
And also, he's a member of the royal family, and members of the royal family ought to be. They can't conduct themselves like private individuals. They have to be so careful as to who
But
they
he doesn't
consort
take photos with anyone. I don't know how well you know him, but he does not take pictures of anybody.
Well, that's not quite true. Because I've seen...
no way he would do a picture with someone like that.
Okay.
No way.
Well, look, fascinating debate. As I've said, I'm going to keep an open mind. We've got to discuss this case, and it's very
going to
powerful.
be a weekly update.
Both sides of the story from you. One of the country's top connected journalists, Petronella Wyatt, and Prince Andrew's biggest supporter, Lady Victoria Hervey. So who do you agree with on this? Was the late Queen right that Prince Andrew could be rehabilitated by taking on a life of charity work? Flo on Twitter says, I think this was a noble suggestion from our dear Queen. If this was her suggestion, then I am in support of it. Lil says, work hard, Andrew, and earn your respect. You've got to start from the bottom and climb your way back up. And from Alan, I wouldn't blame her for trying. He was, after all, her son. However, I don't think it will work. And your verdict is now in. Just 31% of you agree that the late Queen was right, that Andrew can be rehabilitated. 69% of you disagree.